series. Tallulah beat Manchester 6-5 as the Mavericks had the bases loaded in the bottom of the seventh with one out before Walker and Tyson both struck out swinging to end the game. So the Mavs will have to win a game 3 to get their first state championship since 1999. In the words of Yogi Berra, it's deja vu all over again as Walker will take the mound against Morgan of Tallulah in a rematch from Tuesday night. Manchester Academy won that game 6-1. The winner of tonight's game will be crowned 3A state champions. As we're just about underway as D. Morgan for Tallulah. Small cold fronts move through. The wind's out of the north at 10 miles an hour, blowing straight in from center field. Due up for the Mavericks this inning will be Paul, Walker, and Tyson. They'll be followed by Roberts, the DH, batting for Austin, who will be playing center field. Dees, Burton, Johnson, Walton, and Reed Roberts in the 9-hole. Paul will step in to face Morgan, batting .449 on the season as Morgan looks in and is about to deliver his first pitch. Paul has turned the bunt, pull back. It's going to be a strike right over the middle of the plate, and we're underway here. Paul will be down 0-1 as Morgan again looks in. He's ready to deliver his second pitch of the game. This time he's going to miss on the outside part of the plate, and the count's even to 1-1. Defensively for the Trojans will be Mobley, the left-handed third baseman. Next pitch will be grounded to shortstop. Tweedle, he'll come up throwing. It's going to be low, and it's going to get by the first baseman. Paul was going to go to second base, but stumbled down and had to retreat back to first, but he'll reach on the error by Tweedle, the first baseman, or the shortstop. It'll be an E6 to finish the defensive lineup. Will be Tweedle at shortstop, Ray at second. Mobley will be on Hopkins will be on first base, and McDaniels will be catching. As Walker will step in, batting .370 on the season. You'll have a runner in Paul on first base. Paul's stolen 38 bases this season as the Mavericks have swiped 157 out of 175 now for an 89% success rate. And he'll deliver the first pitch into Walker, and it's going to be a ball low on a fastball, just missing low as Walker will step back in from left side to face Morgan again. Paul will take his lead on first. In the outfield for the Trojans will be Boyd, Morrison, and Bedpool from left to right as Morgan looks to first and delivers home. It's going to be a rip ball to left center by Walker. Paul's going to go to second. They're going to wave him in for all the way home. He's coming in. There's going to be a throw coming in from Tweedle. He's going to slide and get under the slope. And just like that, the Mavericks going to have a 1-0 lead on a double by Walker. He'll be at second base now as Tyson will step in as the third batter. So a double by Walker scores Paul all the way to first base. He laced that one to left center, goes all the way to the fence. Paul, as soon as it was hit, knew it was getting down, and he was able to score from first base. The Mavericks will take the lead after two batters, 1-0. As Tyson will step in now with a runner in scoring position where he's batting .358 on the season. Walker just knocked in his 66th team lead in RBI as Tyson will step in on the left side to face Morgan for the first time today as we're just underway. The first pitch is going to be a strike over the outside part of the plate on a changeup. Count will go to 0-1. So we're in the first inning here at the top half. Mavericks on top 1-0 with no outs. Tyson steps in with Walker on second, and he'll take his lead as Morgan will check back and deliver home. It'll be a ground ball foul past the first baseman on the first base side, and the count will be 0-2 to Tyson. Tyson's got 40 RBIs on the season. The Mavericks strike first here after losing game 2, 6-5, where they left the bases loaded in the last inning with one out on back-to-back strikeouts. They won the first game here against Morgan 6-1 on Tuesday night, and they'll play this game for the state championship. And the 0-2 pitch comes in low and inside as Tyson takes it. Count will move to 1-2. Walker remains on second base with no outs. Nixon is the pinch runner. He's come in for the Curtis runner for the pitcher Walker. He's on second base now. Nixon's got 5 stolen bases on the season. 3 of them have come during the playoffs, as Tyson will call timeout right before Morgan starts his pitch. 3-man umpiring crew again today, as it's been throughout the state playoffs. Morgan will take a look back, working out of the stretch on a 1-2 count and deliver home. Be fouled off on a high fastball. It was chest high, borderline whether it was going to be a strike or not, but Tyson fought it off. It was close enough to swing it, and he fouled it straight back over the netting. Big crowd here today for the Mavericks and Tallulah. They have trucks and tailgates wrapped all the way around the outfield. Right field's kind of inhabited by the Manchester Academy fans, and they stretch around from right field all the way to the behind the home plate, and then from the third base side all the way back around to right center is solid Tallulah. The 1-2 pitch will be on its way. A breaking ball that Tyson again is able to face foul off down the first baseline. That'll put Morgan up to 10 pitches. One of the keys will be getting Morgan's pitch count high tonight, as the Mavericks were able to do that the first game they faced them. They worked counts even they didn't get on base. They had a lot of 2-2 counts and 3-2 counts Tuesday night. So Morgan again will work out of the stretch, take a quick look at Nixon on the 1-2 and deliver it home. And miss high as Tyson hits but didn't go. Count evens now 2-2. A nice take by Tyson on that one. Defensively for the Trojans, they're playing deep on the grass on the first base side. Third baseman's even with the bag, but way off the line with a left-handed batter. Shortstop's playing normal depth, and the 2-2 pitch on his way. Breaking ball that misses inside. And now the count's 3-2 to Tyson with a runner on second. On deck will be Brody Roberts, the DH.
Good job, Dino.
Brody pitched a heck of a game on Thursday night. And after he was pulled, the Mavericks gave up 5 runs in the top of the 6th, ultimately losing 6-5 to force this game 3. As there's no outs here, runner on second, the 3-2 pitch on its way. And again, it's fouled off to the left side out of play. This will be the 7th pitch of the bat, 8th pitch of the bat coming up, as Tyson's fouled away 2 of them, making Morgan work. You're just joining us. We're just underway. Paul reached on the air by the shortstop and then was doubled home by Walker on the second batter, and Tyson has a 3-2 count. It's delivered, and it's going to be a high fly ball toward center field. The center fielder is playing back way deep. It's going to come in for a base hit, and the center fielder and second baseman collide, and they're going to call timeout, as I believe it's the shortstop, the second baseman. Looks like the shortstop's slow getting up, but he is getting up now. They collided as they both went after the ball. It was a high fly ball, but the center fielder was playing pretty deep, and the wind's blowing in from the north, dead center field toward home. And the ball just kind of held up and found a no man's land as it was falling back toward second base. Shortstop gave a good effort. They both dove for it, or as the shortstop dove for it, he landed into the center fielder's knees. I believe everybody's going to be okay. It's actually the center fielder that's shaken up. The shortstop's being looked at also. The second baseman had picked up the ball and brought it in, but it's going to be a base hit for Tyson on a blooper-style hit. The Mavericks are going to have runners on first and third, and their DH and Brody Roberts coming up to bat whenever we get back under play. As the coaches are now coming off, it appears that all players are okay. And the Morgan will be getting the ball back, and we'll be underway here in just a second. Edgar's going to come in and run for Tyson. On the season, Edgar's just got 2 stolen bases. And Morgan gets the ball, and he's found himself in trouble here at the first inning with no outs and runners on first and third. So an error on the shortstop, then 2 back-to-back base hits have the Mavericks up 1-0 with no outs. Brody Roberts, the DH, stepping in, batting .421 on the season, .368 with runners in scoring position. He's got 5 home runs on the year. Morgan will deliver his first pitch to high for ball 1. Count will be 1-0 as Edgar stays on first. Mavericks didn't try to move him over on that one. Edgar's only a ninth grader, maybe playing a little safer, even though he's done some courtesy running. He's not as experienced a runner as some of the other players on the team. So Morgan will work from the stretch, take a look over his shoulder to first, and deliver home, missing again high on the first fastball. He's up to 15 pitches now and struggling as it's a 2-0 count. He's missed badly to Brody Roberts both times. Morgan's a Co-Lin commit to play baseball for Co-Lin Community College next spring. And we've got a timeout as the balloons coming across the field. There's balloons hung all around the outfield, and one's escaped. The umpire chases it down. And Weaver pops it with his hand. So home plate umpire's walking back behind the plate with a 2-0 count now to Brody Roberts. Runner still on first and third. And we're in the top of the first inning with no outs. Fourth batter for the Mavericks up against Morgan, the right-hander for Trojans. So he'll take a look back on first base again, deliver home. And this time misses high again as Edgar appeared to take off for just a second and stop. Now he's got a 3-0 count. No way he'll run on a 3-0 count as Brody Roberts will be taking this pitch all the way. On deck will be Dees for the Mavericks. He's hoping to get a chance to come up with the bases loaded. Students are all screaming ball four, and the 3-0 pitch comes in. Ball four inside. And now Dees will step in. The Mavericks had the bases loaded. Same way the game ended the other night. We'll see if we can make the Trojans pay for it tonight as Morgan's up to 17 pitches. Dees will step in. No outs. Dees is a threat to steal. To bunt. He's got a speedy runner and Nixon on third. Could see a safety squeeze here. Well, it couldn't be a safety squeeze because the bases are loaded. So if he bunts, everybody's moving. But Dees will have the base loaded when he steps in. 365 average, 354 with runners in scoring position. And he's got 27 RBIs on the season. As Morgan and the catcher get through with their meeting, McDaniels, the catcher, had gone out for a quick meeting. On this next pitch will be screaming ball six. 1-0 count comes in, misses outside. The count's 2-0 as Morgan cannot find the strike zone right now. So 7 straight balls now going, or 6 straight balls in the 7th. And Tallulah's drawn the infield in. 2-1 pitch comes in. It's going to be a fly ball to center field. The center fielder's going to get over and make the catch. Nixon's going to tag up. It's going to be a close plate, and they're going to throw him out. A good throw by the center fielder. Morrison gets him all the way home from left center field. Makes a good call or a good throw. Gets Nixon out, and the count's now going to bring up Burton to bat. Hester's not going to win first and second with Burton coming up. Burton had a good night the last time he was here. As welcome back to Manchester Academy Baseball here at Tallulah Academy in Tallulah, Louisiana. Mavericks take a 1-0 lead on a double on the second batter of the game off Walker's bat. The Mavericks proceeded to load the bases up with no outs as Dees hit a ball to left center field, caught by the center fielder. Nixon tags up from third base and is thrown out on a bang-bang play at home that Coach Hester argued about, thought there may have been some obstruction by the catcher, but nevertheless it was thrown out at home. Then the Mavericks, Burton strikes out to end the inning, and the Mavericks had a chance to score more runs. They do have a 1-0 lead with Walker coming to He'll give him something high to swing at. Delivers his pitch at 0-2. Just misses low right down the middle on a fastball. Good take by Morgan. Pretty close to be taken. Umpire agreed it was low. Counts 1-2, and Walker will work quickly this time, delivering the 1-2. Strike 3 swinging. He just blew it by Morgan. That's the second strikeout of the inning. It's going to bring up Boyd. Boyd will step in, the left fielder. He'll face Walker for the first time. It's through 2 2/3. Walker has faced the minimum. He'll face the number 9 hole hitter with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. And his Mavericks leading 1-0 in the final game of the state championship. First pitch, strike 1 swinging. Boyd couldn't catch up to a fastball that was located over the outside third of the plate. The left-hander from Manchester is really pounding the outside part of the plate right now against the right-handed hitters. And he'll deliver an 0-1. The breaking ball that Boyd was way out in front of the ball ends up hitting right behind the plate, but he swung through it. Count now is 0-2. Walker's got a chance to strike out the side on 9 pitches. Oh, I'm sorry, on 10 pitches. He did throw a ball a minute ago. It was called low. And he'll throw a high fastball that Boyd will swing at to get a strikeout swing, and there'll be 3 strikeouts in the inning, 6 for the game. The Mavericks are going to take a 1-0 lead into the top of the 4th inning when we come back from Power 107. Ball on deck, the leadoff hitter for the Mavericks. So a 1-0 pitch on its way. Strike, waist high, right down the middle. A fastball by Morgan. He evens the count 1-1. Mavericks have put a base runner on every inning, trying to do so again here in the 4th, but only have 1 run to show for it as they've left 6 on base through 3. 1-1 pitch misses outside. Count now is 2-1 as the sun's kind of gone behind the clouds a little bit in left field. And Morgan has a 2-1 count with Reed Roberts, the number 9 hole hitter, in for the Mavericks. 2-1 comes in high that makes Roberts duck out of the way. It came in high and tight. Roberts now has a 3-1 count. We'll see if Morgan can get one over the plate. Roberts struck out his first time chasing a curveball, but has a 3-1 count worked here and is trying to give the Mavericks a runner for the 4th straight inning. Pitch on its way. Misses low and outside. It's going to be a walk for Reed Roberts. The Mavericks again have a runner on first base like they have at least every inning, had one runner on. Brings up Paul. Paul's 0 for 2 for the day, but he did reach on a error in the first inning and was driven home for the only run of the game so far by Walker, who hit a double to left center field, went the opposite way with it on the first pitch he saw. So Reed Roberts on the season, he's a little bit of a base threat still. He's got 9 on the season. Paul's going to square the bunt, and Mobley, the third baseman's going to come in. He's going to watch a curveball come in, pull his bat back. It's going to be a strike as Morgan hits the inside part of the plate. So Paul was squaring. I think he's going to square again. They're going to make a move over to Reed Roberts on first, and he'll get back in safely. So Paul's looking to possibly bunt here. He's down 0-1 in the count with 1 out. We're in the top of the 4th inning, and the Mavericks lead 1-0 against Tallulah Academy here in the championship game. Paul squares early, pulls back, and slashes at the ball. It's going to be fouled out over the Manchester dugout on the first base side, and he'll be down 0-2. Trojans didn't fall for it as they all stayed back on their positions. He'll be down 0-2, and he's going to have to fight off a curveball or two from Morgan as he's been very good at it when he's ahead in the count. Roberts takes his lead, and the 0-2 pitch comes in. Just missing inside. Count's going to be 1-2 now. As Morgan wanted that one, thought he had it. Roberts is on first. Not a bad time for Roberts to possibly run. Well, 1-2 count on Paul. He steps back in from the right side as Morgan will peek over his shoulder. Roberts will deliver home. Roberts does go. Gets a good jump. The throw's going to be not in time. Nice piece of running as the Mavericks got a breaking ball that stayed high. Decided to go on a 1-2 count. Evens the count to 2-2 as Reed Roberts gets a stolen base. That'll put him in double digits for his senior year at 10. He'll be on second base, gives the Mavericks another runner in scoring position. The 4th straight inning they've had runners in scoring position, but they've only scored 1 run so far tonight as they failed to get a hit when they need it. Paul has a 2-2 count, though, against Morgan as he digs back in on the right side. Morgan checks Reed Roberts on second, delivers home. It's going to be a fastball that's fouled back out of play. Count remains at 2-2. As Morgan awaits his ball to be thrown back, he gets and steps back on the rubber. Now Paul will step in with a 2-2 count and 1 out. Brody Walker, the pitcher for the Mavericks, on deck. Morgan will look back and deliver home. And there'll be a number back to him that he picks up and scoops. He'll underhand at first base. Paul fought out. It was a breaking ball, probably out of the zone, but he got a piece of it, moves the runner to 90 feet away, scoring in Reed Roberts. He'll ground out 1-3 as Morgan was able to scoop it up, run toward first base, and underhand it to the first baseman, Hopkins. Walker's going to step in 1 for 2 on the night. He's doubled in the only run of the game in the first, and then flew out deep center field as the wind was blowing in pretty hard. It's still blowing in, not quite as hard as it's been being, as Morgan will deliver his first pitch to Walker with 2 outs and miss inside. Count will be 1-0, and Morgan is up to 78 pitches. Here he'll throw his full 120 tonight, more than likely, as he'll step back on the rubber. He's 78 pitches through 3 2/3 innings, and the right-hander delivers. Breaking ball misses. Reed Roberts going to try to come home. It's going to be a throw. He's not going to get him. Nice jump by Reed Roberts from third base. Recognized the ball, squirted away toward the Manchester side of the home plate and spun around the fence instead of coming back toward home plate on the short backstop. He immediately came home, comes in standing up. The Mavericks will take a 2-0 lead here in the Game 3 of a best-of-3 series for the 3A state championship. The pitch was a ball. It was a breaking ball. It missed inside to Walker. Walker's going to step back in with a 2-0 count. And the wind has now died completely down. His flag's gone limp. The 2-0 pitch comes in. It's going to be a base hit as Walker again takes it to left field, this time between shortstop and third base. It'll be his second hit of the game as he's having a nice game so far. Gives the Mavericks another runner on base, and he'll be pinch run for our courtesy runner come in since he's the pitcher, and Nixon, and bring up Tyson. Tyson on the day is 1 for 2. He's flown out to center field, and he hit a blooper that landed between center field, shortstop, and second baseman all chasing. Nixon will take his lead. He's got 5 stolen bases on the season. The Mavericks lead 2-0 here in the top of the 4th as Morgan gives up a hit and a run right before that as Roberts came in on a pass ball. He'll deliver his first pitch to Tyson. It'll be a fastball that's going to miss to the inside, and the count will be 1-0. So Mavericks get 1 in the first. They've got 1 in the 4th to lead 2-0 on a nice piece of base running by Reed Roberts, who came home on a pass ball. 1-0 pitch delivered to Tyson is going to be a breaking ball. Nice pitch by Morgan as it broke over the plate inside to the inside leg of the left-handed batter for a strike. Count will be 1-1. And they'll make a move over to first. Nixon gets back in just barely. First move Morgan's made all day to first base. And it was a good move as Nixon was able to get back in under the tag of Hopkins. So defense playing deep in the infield for Tyson as he'll step out. Now he'll dig back in from the left side. He'll await the 1-1 pitch for Morgan. Strike 2 swinging as Morgan pumped a fastball by him. And Nixon gets a stolen base. He kind of had delayed steal, but he took a big jump, stopped, and then nobody covered. As he took off, McDaniels made the throw, but it was late as the shortstop wasn't there. Nixon will get a stolen base. It'll be his 6th of the season. And a 1-2 count with a runner in scoring position for Tyson. Base hit should score him. And the 1-2 pitch coming in is going to be nubbed right in front of the plate, picked up by the catcher. He picks it up, throws it to right field. It's going all the way to the corner. Nixon will score easily. Tyson's digging around at third. He's going to stop on third base. He'll reach third base on the arrow as the McDaniels, the catcher, who's played well the whole series, picked up the ball. It was like a bunt. He nubbed it off his bat, ran hard down first side, and McDaniels just threw a floater out there. It went over the first baseman's head, Hopkins, and went all the way to the right field corner. The Mavericks will have a runner on third now, up 3-0 in the top of the 4th inning with 2 outs, and it brings up the DH, Brody Roberts. So Roberts will come up with a runner on third base and Edgar. Mavericks DH is 1 for 1 today. He walked and then singled into left field on a hard hit ball between shortstop and third base as Morgan will deliver a pitch from and miss on the outside part of the plate. The count's going to be 1-0. And Morgan is now up to 85 pitches, down 3-0. He's not pitched bad tonight. He's not been helped by his defenses. 2 of the runs are going to be scored unearned as Roberts steps in, checks, swings. Strike as he tried to stop on a high fastball, couldn't slow down. And the count's going to be 1-1. So Morgan's given up 3 runs. Only one of them's been earned. The Mavericks are playing heads up on the base pass. As Roberts gets called strike 2 on a curveball that appeared to be low. The umpires made 2 or 3 calls like that, so Mavericks are going to have to watch it. But that ball tails off. It's hitting right behind the plate. But Roberts is down 1-2 now with 2 outs. Mavericks leading 3-0, and Morgan delivers the pitch. It's going to be a base hit for Brody Roberts. A nice job of hitting as he took an outside fastball, went with it, drove it past the first baseman dive, and he'll drive in a run and be 2 for 2 on the night as Edgar comes in to score. The Mavericks now up 4-0, and we're in the top of the 4th inning as they've struck for 3 runs here, all with 2 outs. And this is what they've done during the season up until the playoffs. made teams pay with 2 outs as they have scored runs in droves all year long with 2 outs, and they're doing it tonight in the most important game of the year for them to date, the final of the best-of-3 series, as Morgan will deliver home to Dees. He'll miss high. Dees on the night's 0 for 1. He flew out to center field in the first where Nixon was doubled up at home plate, and then he walked his last at bat. He's up 1-0. He's got Roberts on first base. Brody Roberts, the DH, only 1 stolen base on the year, as Morgan will check and deliver the 1-0. Missing high again, counts 2-0, and Morgan's up to 90 pitches now. So 90 pitches through 3 2/3 innings for Morgan as he's trying to battle. Has not been helped tonight by his defense at all. Tallulah's had 2 errors, but they've both been very costly. As Dees was taking the 2-0 pitch, the Mavericks are going to start working the count at this point with Morgan now over 90 pitches. They're going to try to get him out, leading 4-0. So a 2-1 count now to Dees with a runner on first. The pitch comes in and hits the end of his bat knob, and he's looking up in disbelief. He thought it was going to catch him in his arm, and it just hit the end of the knob, shot out toward the first base side on Manchester's dugout, and the count's going to be even at 2-2. So Morgan will get a little bit of help from the pitching gods on that one, as he had one high and inside that hit off the knob, and Dees will have to protect the plate now at 2-2 instead of a 3-1 count. 2-2 pitch coming, and Roberts leaves to steal the base, but JP watches a breaking ball come right over the plate for strike 3. Takes it. The Mavericks do score 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits. They'll take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 4th inning. We come back from Power 107. Welcome back to Manchester Academy Baseball. Mavericks playing in the state finals, game 3 of the best-of-3 series against Tallulah Academy Trojans. They lead 4-0 as we go into the bottom of the 4th inning. Story of the game are the 2 pitchers, both college-bound pitchers. Morgan, though, for Tallulah Academy through 4 innings is up to 93 pitches as the Mavericks have been able to work counts, get a few base hits, while Walker, Manchester Academy's pitcher, is only at 33 pitches through 3 1/2. It'll be important for him to keep his pitch count down as he'll try to go the distance. He's got 6 strikeouts so far on the night, and he'll face the top of the lineup in Tweedle. Bedgood Morgan. He walked Tweedle to start the game. First pitch comes in, a breaking ball over the outside corner, and he's got it working really good tonight. Strike 1. Tweedle was erased in an inning-ended double play. In the first, he's down 0-1. The pitch comes, and it's going to be a flare. This one's going to be trouble. Reed Roberts coming in, can't get to it. Short hops is going to be the first hit of the inning. Thought Roberts might be able to dive for that one or slide underneath it, but he decided to let it hit. Coach Hester is not happy with him about it, but he kept it in front of him as he didn't think he could get to it. It's going to get a leadoff runner to the Trojans for the first time since the first inning. Tweedle's the only Trojan to reach base, and he's done it twice now. He's got a big lead. Walker gives up his first hit in over 10 innings against the Trojans, and he'll make a move over to first base to try to keep Tweedle close. Mavericks up 4-0. The only thing they can't do is give up runs in bunches. 1 run here is not going to hurt them. They need to work for outs at this point as we're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Mavericks leading 4-0, and Walker working out of the stretch to Bedgood. He'll deliver the first pitch. It's going to be a strike right down the middle. So he took a little bit off that one, threw a changeup. He's really taken a lot off his balls tonight, throwing a lot of what I would call changeups for him, 77 to 80 mile an hour pitches, work them along with the breaking ball on the outside part, and he'll deliver the 0-1. And this time it is a breaking ball, and it's a big bender that Bedgood swings over. This is as good a breaking ball as I've seen from Walker all season, as it's going more 12-6 tonight than it is coming back in like a slider would. And he's got an 0-2 count with one out and a runner on. He'll step off just to get Tweedle, the Trojan runner, back to first base. Morgan, the pitcher for the Trojans, on deck. As Walker's up 0-2 against Bedgood, he'll look in, shake his head yes, deliver the pitch. It's going to be a ground ball to Paul, and it's going to go off his glove. It'll be an error on Paul, and it's going to give back-to-back base runners to the Trojans. They'll have runners now on first and second. That was a possible double play if he fields it cleanly. It wasn't a hard hit. It was just a chopper, and he was moving toward third base. It goes off Paul's glove, and Johnson was there waiting on the throw at second. Coach Hessler's going to call a timeout, give them a quick pep talk, calm everyone down, as the Mavericks just need to get outs up 4-0. While he's out there talking, we'll thank our sponsors. Bank Plus, William Clark and Morrison, Ayers Delta Implement, Main Street Market, Manchester Academy, Scott Petroleum, Coghlan Planning Company, Yazoo Valley Electric, Bank of Yazoo, Spencer Ready Mix, Monasco Body Shop, P. Rose, Jim Newsom Trucking, A&A Calibration, and the South Group Insurance Company. Thank you to all these sponsors of Manchester Baseball. They've brought you the Mavericks live all season long on Power 107. So Coach Hessler's got this strategy done against with the infield, as Morgan will step in. Morgan's 0 for 1 on the day. He grounded into in 6-4-3 double play back in the first inning. The Mavericks need to get an out here. They'll trade a run for an out, I'm sure, at this point, and then try to get back in to hit, as this is the first time the Trojans have had two runners on base, and the first time they've had somebody on second. As the first pitch comes into Morgan, it's a breaking ball, fouled back into the screen. Morgan slaps the bat into his hand. He felt like he should have been on that when it was fouled right back toward the press box. Count will be 0-1 as Walker just steps back onto the mound with a runner and Tweedle on second. The infield is going to play deep on the infield, not expecting any kind of bunt situation. And this ball is going to be a breaking ball that gets by Tyson. It's going to be a pass ball as it broke down the dirt, but it advances runners to second and third here as the Mavericks lead 4-0 in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Tyson, the catcher, let that one get by, tried to glove it instead of moving in front of it. He'll have to be a wall back with the runner and Tweedle. Tweedle's got a lot of speed for the Trojans. Walker's even 1-1 to Morgan, delivers. Strike two called right down the middle. Morgan didn't like the call, thought it was low. But the umpire's been consistent there all day long. The count's going to be 1-2. We'll see if Walker will try to backdoor him here on a breaking ball. 1-2 pitch on its way from Walker. Pitch in the same spot as the last one. This one's going to miss low. Same exact pitch, didn't get the call this time. Counts 2-2 as Morgan held off of it. Walker was wanting the pitch, put it right back into the spot it was called strike the previous pitch. Umpire thought that one was a little low, and the count evens to 2-2 with no outs. So 2-2 pitch on its way. Mavs leading 4-0. It's going to be a ground ball to Dees. Dees picks it up, goes to third base. Nice play by Dees. Gets the lead runner. The lead runner's Tweedle on third. He'll score, but gets Bedgood trying to go to third base as he ran in front of Dees. Dees alertly picks the ball up, throws to third, makes the out, cuts down the runner there. So Morgan will reach on a fielder's choice. He will drive in a run in Tweedle. Mavericks lead 4-1 with one out, but only have a runner to deal with on first base now in Morgan on the 6-5 put out by Dees. Again, Dees playing well the last three games after a rough outing against Tallulah Academy in the final game of that series. This will bring up Hopkins. Hopkins will step in. A strikeout victim his last time. Walker will step back on the mound. He's got 6 strikeouts on the night. His team's leading 4-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Morgan takes lead on first. The pitch comes in swinging, strike one. Kept it low on the outside part of the plate. 84-mile-an-hour fastball. Hopkins couldn't catch up on it, so he had to reach across to try to get it. As he'll step back in, Morgan again will take his lead. Pitch comes, breaking ball, swinging, strike 2. And that was a nasty pitch right there by Walker. It started outside the plate and broke all the way back in across the plate at the feet of Hopkins, and he swung right through it. Walker's up 0-2, looking for his 7th strikeout of the game. He struck out Hopkins back in the 2nd inning. He's up 0-2 with Morgan, the Trojan, on first base, taking his lead, and Walker will deliver home. Strike 3 called. Hey, now that was a good one right there. Right down the middle. Hopkins was looking for a breaking ball all the way and throws up. It'll be the 7th strikeout of the night. Give the Mavericks 2 outs now. And then it'll bring up Nick Daniels, the catcher, who grounded the D's the first time up. Mavericks looking to get out of the inning with no more damage after Trojans got runners on 2nd and 3rd with no outs. They were able to get out at 3rd base after a strike and then a strikeout. Now Walker delivers a pitch. It's going to be a high fly ball that's going to get out of play over Manchester's dugout on the first base side. Count will now be 0-1 as the Mavericks pitcher will get a new ball and trudge back to the mound where he'll toe the rubber. His team leading 4-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Tallulah, Louisiana. Mavericks are trying to win their first state championship since 1999. And McDaniel steps back in down 0-1, waiting on the pitch from Walker. It's going to again be a fastball that's fouled back into the screen this time. And the count's going to be 0-2. Walker has got a chance to get another strikeout on the night. He's gone 3 2/3 so far. He's given up a run. It was not earned, and 1 hit. And he's got 7 strikeouts. 0-2 count. We'll see if Morgan will go on the 0-2 pitch with 2 outs. He may get a breaking ball from Walker. He'll take a look over to first and deliver home. It'll be a fastball. It just misses inside, busted McDaniel's back. He didn't tell back. He thought he had it. Asked the umpire, and the umpire said it was inside a little bit. It'll be 1-2. So 1-2 pitch now. McDaniel's the catcher for Trojan. With 2 outs, Mavericks lead 4-1 in the bottom of the 4th, on its way. Hey now, call strike 3. McDaniels doesn't like it. Thought it was the same pitch he had just a second ago. I thought he struck out a second ago. This time the umpire gets on the inside corner. The Mavericks limit damage after lead off 2 hitters get on base. They'll take a 4-1 lead into the top of the 5th inning. We come back from Power 107. Stop all that talking. Welcome back to Manchester Academy Baseball. Josh Miller here live in Tallulah, Louisiana, as the Mavericks going to take a 4-1 lead into the top of the 5th inning. Mavericks able to get out of the inning after giving a leadoff hit and a walk, or an error, got reached on error. First two base runners get on base for the Trojans. They only give up 1 run as they were able to get out of the inning. They'll face Morgan again. Morgan, the Trojan pitcher, has thrown 4 innings. He's up to 93 pitchers. Walker, the starter for the Mavericks, only at 50, sitting great for the last 3 innings for him. The Mavericks will want to try to work Morgan a little bit more as they've got a pinch hitter coming up for Burton. And it's going to be Will Keaton Ketchum coming in for Burton. He'll pinch hit, and they'll be followed by Johnson and Walton. Ketchum's betting 278 on the season. He'll face Morgan for the first time. Burton.
Let's go, Will Key. Let's go.
Not seeing the ball well tonight. He's played well in left field, struck out twice, and Coach Hester will try a pinch hitter here in the 5th inning as Keaton looks at the first pitch way outside, ball one. The Mavericks probably taking at this point till they see a strike. Johnson will be on deck. As Morgan gets the ball, it was hit off the backstop, then came back halfway to the mound. He picks it up and steps back on the rubber. He's 6 pitches away from 100, and he'll deliver the 1-0. And again, missed low and outside, and the count's going to move to 2-0 now. Will Keaton Ketchum will no doubt be taken here as Ketchum's in pinch hit duty for Burton. Will Keaton steps back in and waits a 2-0 pitch. Ball 3, all 3 pitches have been low and outside as Morgan looks down at the mound like he's stepping into a hole. He's not comfortable on his own mound right now. He's doing a little field work trying to get the holes put in, but it's 3-0 count as the Manchester students and dugout start hauling ball 4 again, and Morgan puts one right down the middle as Ketchum was taken all the way. He's up 3-1, and he's going to be looking for something in his wheelhouse on a 3-1 pitch. It's on its way. Strike 2. Again, Ketchum was taken all the way, I believe, on that one. And now it's 3-2. He'll have to choke up a little bit versus Morgan, the pitcher for Tallulah. Morgan's gone 3-2 now for the 6th batter tonight. It's going to be a ground ball smothered by the first baseman. It's going to be a bang-bang play. Ketchum's going to slide into the first base. It's going to be a base hit as the ball was right down the line. Hopkins makes a great play to get to it. Knocks it about 3 feet in the foul territory, picks it up. Ketchum's running down the first baseline. Both of them slide into the bag, and Ketchum beats them by a half a step. It'll be a base hit for Ketchum against Morgan. A nice job pinch hitting, worked the count to 3-2, then gets a base hit, an infield base hit. It's going to bring up Johnson, who's 1 for 2 on the day.
Let's go, Rhino.
The Mavericks have a base runner for the 5th straight inning on the base hit by Ketchum. So Johnson will step in, he'll square the bunt. Pitch comes inside, and it's going to be fouled down in the ground. It was an inside fastball that he was able to get the bat on, kind of protecting himself. It's going to be 0-1. On the season, Ketchum only has 2 stolen bases. He's got decent speed, but the Mavericks are going to try to bunt him over against Morgan. Morgan just hit his 100th pitch. He's got 20 more to pitch tonight. And Johnson's going to swing away now. He's going to take a ball high. The count's going to be 1-1 as Ketchum stays on first base. The Mavericks have the pitch count going now in their favor as Morgan's 19 pitches away from being out of this game. He'll make a move over to first. It's going to scoot by. He threw it low. Hopkins misses it. It's going to be an error on the pitcher. It's going to move Ketchum over to second base with no outs. Mavericks will have a base runner in scoring position, leading 4-1 in the top of the 5th inning. The Mavericks looking to add another run back here in the 5th. They gave up one in the bottom of the 4th inning, but were able to escape with no more than 1 run on a hit and an error and a walk that inning. Johnson, Mavericks second baseman, is going to step back in on the right side. He's got a 1-1 count. He's going to square the bunt again with Ketchum on second. Pitch comes high. He pulls back. The count's now 2-1. Nice job of hitting by Ryan Johnson as he pulls back. The third baseman was staying still. I'm not sure. I guess they're going to let Morgan field it off the pitcher's mound. The first baseman was playing way back, never came in on the corners. Now the third baseman comes in a little bit. And it's going to be a ball low on a fastball. It's going to be a 3-1 count. We'll see what they decide to do here with Johnson. Johnson will step back in on the 3-1 pitch from Morgan. Pitch comes outside, ball 4. Morgan still hitting 82 to 83 mile an hour range, and he's up to 104 pitches. He's got 16 more to go. The Mavericks have runners on first and second now with no outs, and Ty Walton stepping up. He's walked once and flew out to left fielder. We'll see if he'll try to bunt around now. I would imagine that the Mavericks are going to take until they get a strike, as Morgan's only 16 pitches left that he can throw in this game. He'll hit the 120 pitch mark as he's sitting on 104. The Mavericks, most likely, if they don't just mess up this inning, will have a good chance of facing a new pitcher in the top of the sixth and the top of the seventh. Hopkins, the second best pitcher for the Trojans, pitched the full game Thursday, so he's unavailable, as Morgan will deliver a fastball strike against Walton. He's down 0-1 as he was taken on that one. He'll step back in 0-1 with runners on first and second. Reed Roberts has a big lead on first base. They're not holding him on. He'll just have to be careful they don't come in behind him. Ketchum's closer to the bag on second. The 0-1's delivered low on a breaking ball. And the count will move to 1-1 with no outs here in the top of the fifth inning. Mavericks ahead 4-1.
Come on, buddy.
Sun's come back out just below the clouds as this is about to sit behind the trees, but could affect the first baseman a little bit as it's shining from third to first. And the 1-1 pitch from Morgan comes into Walton outside. And now the count's 2-1 to Walton. Walton took a strike, and then he's taken two straight balls. We're going to have a timeout by Tallulah. They may go on and make a pitching change now, but we're going to see what they do as the coach comes out. Mavericks will trot over and talk to Coach Hester. A little bit of a recap how we got to a 4-1 score. The Mavericks scored the first run of the game after Paul reached on an error. He was then doubled home by Walker. Then the Mavericks didn't score for the next two frames in the second and third inning, but picked up 3 runs in the top of the fourth and threatening here in the fifth with runners on first and second and no outs. And a 2-1 count on the 8-hole hitter, Walton. Tallulah Academy hadn't scored in the first 3 frames and finally got a base hit on the ball that Roberts let bounce in front of him. It was a close call on whether or not to dive for it. He decided to let it hit, which gave the Trojans their first hit in 10 innings against Walker. They end up getting the runners moved over on an error, and then Morgan grounded in on a fielder's choice, the only run of the night for the Trojans, and that's how we get to 4-1 here in the top of the fifth inning. So Morgan's going to stay in. He's at 107 pitches. He's got 13 more he can throw, and then we'll see who the Trojans bring in to try to finish out the game. McDaniels has pitched in both games, the catcher, and he finished Thursday nights out. And he's going to get a 2-1 fastball as we popped up in the infield. It's going to be a infield fly rule called as there was runners on first and second and less than 2 outs. The Mavericks will go down on an infield fly for the first out as Walton pops out to the shortstop. Brings up Reed Roberts. Again, maybe a bunting situation as Mobley, the third baseman, is already starting to come in. We're at 108 pitches, and Roberts calls timeout. Roberts, if he's not bunting, will no doubt be taken until he gets a strike. He'll step back in on the right side to face Morgan. And the first pitch comes to him high. He did not square around, so he's going to take. Mavericks are just trying to get Morgan out of the game at this point. He's a very good right-handed pitcher for the Trojans. And this time Roberts does turn the swing. He pulls back immediately. It was a take, even though he was going to bunt. Showed bunt, but was taken all the way. As soon as the ball was out of Morgan's hands, he pulled back and it missed low. Count will be 2-0 now to Roberts. And he will wait on the 2-0 pitch. Ball 3 high. And he's worked the count 3-0. He'll take 2 strikes in a row, I would imagine, at this point. Something the Mavericks failed to do Thursday night, which possibly cost them winning the state championship Thursday and having to play a game 3 tonight. Mavericks had the bases loaded Thursday night and decided to swing away with their 2 and 3 hole hitters, and both struck out with a struggling McDaniels on the mound. But we're here tonight on a Saturday night with a 3-0 count to Reed Roberts, and Morgan delivers it. Outside, bases are going to be loaded for the top of the lineup, and Mills Paul as Roberts draws a walk. The Mavericks will have bases loaded. Morgan is at 112 pitches. He's got 8 to go. McDaniels finished out the game for the Trojans Thursday night. He pitched in the first game also. He's not overpowering. He's going to be a low 70s pitcher, but he does throw some strikes. As Morgan's down to 8 pitches, and Paul steps in 0 for 3 on the night. And he'll square the bunt. And he'll pull back. It's going to be a ball high. And Morgan is tiring a little bit, and his control has left him here the last 2 or 3 batters. So 1-0. And again, Paul's going to square, and now he's going to pull back. And again, Morgan misses high. This time it hits him. And it's going to walk in a run. Paul was hit by a pitch. He immediately threw his bat down. The umpire's wanting to, or the coach is asking what happened. We're going to see it now. The umpire's saying come back, but he waved him to first. When Paul dropped his bat and took off, Coach Hester's asking. We'll see if the umpires will beat. Maybe the second base umpire have a better view.
Ask for help.
So we're going to see what they're saying now. He's talking to Tallulah's coach. I'm not sure if they're saying that he reached out in front of it. He did not move, but he didn't really move toward the to the ball. Umpire's going to call it. I couldn't see what the count was. We'll have to get in a second. 2-0. He squares the bunt. It's going to be a strike. And again, he says he hit it in his elbow. And this time the ball goes off. And the umpire is saying he wasn't hit. Now I think Coach Hester's coming up arguing. I want to know what's going on as the second base umpire is coming in. And now he was squared to bunt, pulled back, and the umpire is saying he was across strike zone. That's the second one in a row the umpire's had trouble seeing. Not sure what's going on with him, but his base is loaded with no outs. Now he's going to call a strike on. Paul said he reached out over the home plate. He was squared to bunt where his body was already over home plate, pulled back, the ball hit him, but nevertheless, counts could be 2-1 with the one out. The bases are loaded. Morgan will deliver high. Counts now 3-1, and Morgan's down to 4 pitches. So Morgan's got the bases loaded and 4 pitches to go with one out here in the top of the 5th inning. Mavericks leading 4-1. Fireworks starting to happen a little bit with the home plate umpires. The Mavericks felt like he missed 2 calls in a row. And the 3-1 pitch for Morgan on its way to Paul. It's going to be a pop fly to right field. It's going to be shallow. It's going to get down as the runner's coming home from third to be catching. Had to wait to see. Again, the wind was blowing in. The right fielder got a bad jump on it. I thought he was going to get there, and the ball came down in front of him. No way he can make a play on it. It'll be a base hit, RBI single for Paul. Mavericks will get a run, go back up 5-1. Have runners still on base on every bag, bring up Walker. And Morgan has got 3 pitches left, and they're going to take them out. Here is the pitching coach will come out for the second time. While he does that, the Mavericks are leading 5-1. We're going to go back to Power 107 for 2 or 3 minutes as the catcher's going to come into the game for the Trojans, and we'll be back here shortly. I was cutting it close. That's how I was cutting it close this year. I'm ready whenever you are. He's pitching. game. He's pitched well tonight, just didn't get much help behind him. He went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 5 runs. Only 2 of them were earned. He did have a little control problem as he walked 6 and had 6 strikeouts. And a good effort by the senior Morgan for the Trojans, the Tallulah Academy Trojans. And they're going to bring in their 3rd pitcher as Hopkins, their number 2 pitcher, pitched 6 1/3 innings on Thursday night. They're going to bring in McDaniels. McDaniels finished the game for the Mavericks, against the Mavericks Thursday night. He's not a hard thrower. He's a fastball, breaking ball type guy. His breaking ball is about 64 miles an hour with about 70 to 72 mile an hour fastball. So Mavericks will have to stay back and wait on him. In a bit of irony, he's going to enter the game here with the bases loaded and 1 out versus the same 2 batters he struck out Thursday night. So as I said before in the broadcast, as Yogi Berra famously said, it's deja vu all over again. So Walker will step in. Walker on the night is 2 for 3. He's driven in a run, and he's going to face McDaniels for the first time since Thursday night, where McDaniels struck him out. McDaniels was able to get the save on Thursday. He'll be working from behind, just trying to keep it close as the Mavericks are up 5-1 here in the top of the 5th inning with 1 out. Morgan, the pitcher, will go back to the catching duties, and McDaniels will step in. Walker will be batting from the left-handed side, and we'll see how aggressive the Mavericks are. The wind's picked up, blowing hard again from center field in, as McDaniels is going to work from the stretch with runners on every base. First pitch is going to be low for ball 1. The Mavericks really need to be patient, make the pitcher McDaniels throw strikes. They can't help them out like they did Thursday night, as they're up 5-1 looking for some insurance runs here before we go into the last 3 bottom halves of the innings. So the 1-0 pitch is coming. It's going to be a hard ground ball, base hit, as the first baseman was playing in, trying to throw it home. Walker delivers a base hit. It's going to score Johnson from 3rd. It's going to score Roberts from 2nd. The Mavericks are going to have runners on the corners now. They'll be leading 7-1, and the Mavericks are feeling good. They are up 7-1 here in the top of the 5th, bringing up Tyson. Tyson on the night's 1 for 3. He's reached twice. Once was on the error by the catcher, who's now pitching. McDaniels back in the 4th inning, which kind of gave the Mavericks their biggest lead of the night. He nubbed one in front of the plate, and McDaniels threw it all the way into right field. Tyson will step in with runners on the corners. Nixon will step in at first. I would think we'd see him going on the first pitch as McDaniels is going to deliver home. It's going to be a high fly ball to right field. The right fielder's going over. It's going to make the catch just inside fair territory, but it's going to be a sac fly as Paul comes in to score for the Mavericks, and they go up 8-1. So a sac fly makes it 8-1. There's a runner on first base still. Nixon, the pinch runner or the courtesy runner for Walker. Mavericks leading 8-1 here in the top of the 5th inning. And Brody Roberts stepping up on the night. Roberts has had a very good game. He took a walk his first time up. Then he's been 2 for 2 since then with hard hit balls on the right side and left side of the infield. And he'll wait on McDaniels' first pitch to him. Strike as Nixon takes a delayed steal and goes, and he'll get a stolen base. It'll be his 2nd stolen base of the night as the throw goes high. Nixon will have 7 stolen bases now on the season, 2 tonight. He'll get into scoring position as Roberts took that one as a strike. It was a high one. But the count's going to be 0-1 with two outs. So an 0-1 count with 2 outs. Roberts is waiting on the pitch from McDaniels. Going to be low, and the count will even to 1-1 as the Mavericks are starting to smell a little blood in the water here. Another 2-out rally is what they're looking for with a runner on second base, and Roberts 1-1 in the count against McDaniels. McDaniels delivers it. Outside corner, strike 2, and the count's now 1-2. So Roberts will have to choke up. He did a nice job this last time as Morgan gave him a fastball on the outside that he drove to right field. He'll have to look for the same as McDaniels has a very slow breaking ball. Counts 1-2, and McDaniels delivers it. And he hangs the breaking ball. It's going to be a base hit to left field. They're going to wave Nixon home. The left fielder misplays it. It's going to be a single for Roberts. He'll advance to second on the error, and the Mavericks are up 9-1 now. As an error on the left fielder after the single by Roberts allows Roberts to go to second base. The Mavericks are going to bring up J.P. Dees, who struck out his last time over. He'll be the ninth batter of the inning. We'll have a courtesy runner, and it'll be Austin who will run for the DH at second base. So he can come in and run for him, and then Brody Roberts can come back and hit again. Austin's playing center field as the Mavericks have got the lead of 9-1 here in the top of the fifth inning, and Dees is going to step in on the right-handed side of the plate as the Mavericks are waiting on the home plate umpire to come back after he was letting the scorers to know what was going on. Mavericks are up 9-1 with 2 outs as Dees steps in. Dees waits the pitch. First pitch comes in swinging, strike one at a chest-high fastball. Dees is 0 for 2 on the day. He did walk once. He struck out and flew out to center field back in the first inning. He's down 0-1 to McDaniels, the pitcher.
Let's go, JP.
As Dees awaits the pitch again. This time it's a breaking ball outside. Good heads-up running by Austin. As soon as it hit the dirt, he was off to third. He'll be 90 feet away from giving the Mavericks a double digits and a 9-run lead as they lead 9-1, and they're 90 feet away from lead 10-1. Dees, the batter, evens the count to 1-1 with 2 outs as the Mavericks lead 9-1 in the top of the fifth inning, and McDaniels comes set to deliver home again on the 1-1 pitch. Low for ball 2, and now the count's 2-1. Will Keaton Ketchum, the pinch hitter who started the inning off with a really good play, bang, bang, as he slid into first base, beating the first baseman to the bag to start the inning off, is sitting on deck as Dees awaits the 2-1 pitch. Strike right over the outside part of the plate. Waist high and counts now 2-2. So Dees will step back in with a 2-2 count. Austin sitting on third base, representing the 10th run for the Mavericks. McDaniels delivers home. It's going to be a high fly ball to the third baseman. It's coming down, and he'll make the catch and retire the side. Dees will pop out to third base here to end the inning. But the Mavericks have a big inning, picking up 5 runs. They've scored 8 runs in the last 2 innings. They're going to take a 9-1 lead into the bottom of the 5th inning with Walker coming out to the mound again when we come back for Power 107. Baseball, Mavericks take a big 9-1 lead into the bottom of the 5th inning as Walker will step back on the mound for the Mavericks. He's in great shape to finish this game out as he's only to 50 pitches as he's finishing up his warm-up pitches. On the night, he's thrown 4 innings, given up 1 hit, 1 run. It was unearned. He's thrown 11 innings against the Trojans, only giving up 1 hit. Dating back to Tuesday night's game, he has 8 strikeouts, and he's going to face the 6, 7, and 8 batters in Morrison, Mobley, and Morgan, the DH. So Morrison will step in. He struck out against Walker his first time up in the second inning.
Nice dirt on the plate.
The wind is still blowing, and it moved a little bit more from right to left. As Walker's going to start off with a big breaking ball that he has worked all night long over the outside part of the plate, really taking a lot off, making it more of a slurve. And he's up 0-1 against Morrison. Next pitch, a ground ball, to second base. Picked up by the second baseman, thrown over to first. Short, but Walton makes a good play on the short hop. Stays on the bag for the first out. And the Mavericks will have one out facing Mobley, the third baseman for the Trojans. So Walker's going to step in and get a new ball as Mobley was about to step in, the left-handed third baseman for the Trojans. He struck out his first time against Walker. Walker's at 52 pitches now, and he'll deliver his first pitch to Mobley. It's going to be a ground ball to Paul, a big hop on his third hop. He'll throw across the diamond for an out. An easy play for Walker, a 5-3 put out. The Mavericks get 2 outs here on 3 pitches and brings up the DH, Cade Morgan. Morgan on the day's 0-for-1. He struck out his only time facing Walker. As the Mavericks lead 9-1 with 2 outs now in the 5th inning. They're waiting on Morgan to step back in as the coach has timeout. Not sure if they're going to pinch hit the DH. He's only been up once. That looks like what they may be about to do. We're going to have a quick break as he's explaining to the umpire what's going on. Morgan, the DH, shaking his head. He's not happy about coming out of the game. And we're going to have a DH coming in, or a pinch hitter for the DH. Not sure what number it is just yet. So the pinch hitter is going to come in. It's going to be number 16. It's going to be Gale. So they'll pinch hit the DH, Morgan. Gale's going to be a right-handed batter. It looks like they're just trying to get something different for Walker to face as he's been cruising here. Gale's a lot smaller batter than Morgan. Morgan's a big kid, probably 6 foot or better. Gale is probably a 5'5", 5'6" kid, maybe a younger player on the team. He's going to face Walker from the right side with 2 outs. The first pitch is going to be a huge breaking ball that comes back over the plate as Gale backed off of it, even coming from left to right. It was a good-looking pitch by Walker, and he's up 0-1. And he throws the same pitch for a strike, swinging by Gale. This is the best Brody Walker's looked all season with his breaking balls. He's worked a little bit slower, more 12-6, and the 0-2 pitch coming. Strike 3 swinging on 3 straight pitches. He gets the pinch hitter to strike out. The Trojans go down 1-2-3 in the 5th inning. The Mavericks lead 9-1 as we go to the top of the 6th inning. We come back from Power 107. Welcome back to Manchester Academy. The Mavericks lead 9-1 in the top of the 6th inning. Mavericks have a big 4th and 5th inning as they batted around and the lead got 5 runs there in the 5th, had 3 in the 4th. Will Keaton Ketchum's going to stay in to bat. As he got a single his first time, he'll take a ball. The count's going to be 1-0. As McDaniels is going to work out of the stretch, Mavericks are 6 out away, 2 innings away from a state championship, the first one since 1999, as they've blown this game wide open the last 2 innings after chasing Morgan in 4 1/3. And Ketchum will watch the second pitch come low for ball 2 as McDaniels gets the ball and delivers the third one. Strike right down the middle. The count's going to be 2-1. He was going to take that one all the way. And he's got a 2-1 lead now on McDaniels. The Mavericks pinch hitter came in pinch hitting last and stayed in the game. He's going to swing at a strike, or swing at a fastball for a strike. The count's going to even 2-2. And he'll have a 2-2 count against McDaniels waiting on the pitch. McDaniels is going to spike a fastball into the ground. Count will go 3-2. The Mavericks have worked 7 3-2 counts over the night against the pitchers. Ketchum's got a 3-2 one here. We'll see what McDaniels can do with it as he delivers a fastball that's going to be fouled off. So it'll be a extra pitch coming. That's the 4th time the Mavericks have run something past 3-2 to 7 pitches.
Let's go, Will.
Or to 6 pitches plus. So McDaniels will step back on the rubber. Will Keaton will step back into the batter's box, and McDaniels delivers a fastball, this time swung on and missed by Ketchum. He'll strike out. And it's going to bring up Johnson. Johnson on the night's coming in to bat from the right side where he's 1 for 2. He scored a run earlier. He's had a double and a strikeout, and he'll face McDaniels after walking against him the first time. Lasted. First pitch comes, misses outside, and the count's 1-0. The sun's down below the clouds, or the western skyline, as the lights are on. It's 1-0. 1-0 count, excuse me. Now it's a 1-1 count with 1 out. Mavericks lead 9-1 in the top of the 6th inning. And the pitch comes in outside, and it'll be a 2-1 pitch now. So 2-1 with 1 out to Johnson, the senior second baseman for the Mavericks. His team leading 9-1 in the top of the 6th inning. McDaniels will deliver the pitch. It's going to be fouled out of play over the first base dugout, and the count's going to go to 2-2 as the Mavericks' number 7 hole hitter Johnson is even in the count with McDaniels, the pitcher for Tallulah, who's back on the rubber in the windup and delivers a breaking ball. It's going to miss high. Count now is going to go to 3-2. Mavericks have had a base runner on in every inning so far today. Johnson's a pitch away from being on. As he watched a 62-mile-an-hour curveball miss high and in. McDaniels delivers a 3-2, and it'll be fouled off. Nice job of hitting by the Mavericks as they've just gone to the 8th 3-2 count and 5th one that's gone to 7 pitches. So the Mavericks have done a good job tonight working pitchers against the Trojans as Johnson will wait the 3-2 pitch from McDaniels. Ball 4, nice job of hitting, and the Mavericks get another runner on. They've had one every inning since the game began. Going to bring up Cole Estes to DH for Alton. Estes has not seen many at-bats this year. He's been pitching mostly in pitching duties. He's batting .364 on the season. And he'll get a chance to hit tonight against McDaniels as they're making a substitution change. So Estes is going to come in with 1 out. Johnson will be on first base with Reed Roberts on deck. So Cole will step in from the right side, facing McDaniels. This will be the first time Estes batted in a while. First pitch will be a base hit, line drive, right up the middle. Johnson will go to second base on the base hit by Estes. A good hit for Estes as he came in and pitched well the other night. The 5 batters he faced getting rewarded with a little bat time. He'll go to first base on the base hit. Mavericks have runners on first and second now. as Reed Roberts steps in. The senior batting in the 9 hole. He's 0 for 1 on the night. He has walked twice and come around to score both times. The Mavericks have runners on first and second with 1 out, and Roberts is up to bat with Paul on the deck. And nice bunt by Roberts down third base side. McDaniels tries to grab it, slips down. It's going to be an infield hit by Roberts on a bunt. Everybody moves up a bag. It's going to bring up the bases loaded with the top of the lineup coming up. Mavericks lead 9-1, and every button they've pushed tonight's been the right one. The Trojans are in real trouble now as the Mavericks have a chance to get 2 runs in and possibly shut them out in the bottom of the 6th inning with a run rule if the 2 coaches agree to have a run rule, which they may not have since it's a best of game championship game 3 series. But McDaniels will work out of the stretch against Paul, and his first pitch will be delivered low for ball 1. Paul works the count up to 1-0 against McDaniels. McDaniels has thrown 30 pitches now for the Trojans, and Paul steps back in. He'll watch second pitch come in high, and now the count's 2-0. Mavericks fans are starting to feel it a little bit as they got the bases loaded in the top of the 6th, up 9-1. Trojans are reeling the last 2 innings. 2-0 count coming, pitch coming. It's going to be a high fly ball over the first base dugout. It's going to go foul as the first baseman was giving it chase. Hopkins ran to the fence but ran out of real estate as he was looking up. Count's going to move to 2-1 against Paul with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Mavericks leading 6-1 or 9-1 with the bases loaded. And McDaniels, the pitcher, working out of the stretch, delivering the 2-1. Base hit right up the middle made McDaniels step out of the way. 1 run's going to score. And the ball's going to go all the way to center fielder as 2 runs score. 3 runs score. Reed Roberts coming in. Paul's going to go all the way to third base as the center fielder misplayed it. The ball goes under his feet. It's going to be a base hit, and it's going to advance Paul all the way to third base as 3 runs come in. The Trojans are falling apart at this point. The Mavericks lead 12-1 here in the top of the 6th inning, bringing up Brody Walker. The pitcher for the Mavericks, he's 2 for 3 on the night. And he's going to step back in with a runner on third base. Actually, he's 3 for 4 on the night. His only out was a fly ball to center fielder. He's going to step in with a chance to drive in another run. He's got 68 on the season, and McDaniels will deliver the first pitch to him inside, and it's going to scoot away from Morgan. Paul's going to play it safe, stay on second base or third base, as the Mavericks are up 12-1 here in the top of the 6th inning. Fans, the Mavericks were starting to holler, "Who's your daddy?" And Coach Dindy, the headmaster, got all onto the students. Stopped that quickly as the pitch comes in. It's going to be laced to right field as Walker's will get a base hit. And Paul will come in to score. That's going to be 4 runs in the inning for the Mavericks as the game's just gotten out of control for Tallulah. They've had a good season, but just have run out of pitching here against the Maverick hitters. McDaniel's doing all he can. He's just not a hard thrower. He's 72-mile-an-hour fastball guy with a 64-mile-an-hour curve, and the Mavericks are just waiting back, and it's become batting practice here in the last 2 innings against them. But the Mavericks lead 13-1 in the top of the 6th inning with 1 out. Tyson's going to step in now. On the day, Tyson's 1 for 3. He's going to hit the first one deep to center field. The center fielder's going back. The wind's going to keep it inside the park, as he'll make the catch about 10 feet in front of the fence. That ball would have been a home run most days, but it's going to be a long out, a fly ball to center field, and it's going to bring up Brody Roberts, the DH. Mavericks lead 13-1 after Walker's single. Brody Roberts will step in. He's had a good game today. He's 3 for 3. He's got 2 RBIs on the day and a walk to go, so he's moved space all 4 times, and he'll watch a breaking ball come across for a strike. Ball or strike for a 0-1 count with 2 outs here. Mavericks leading 13-1 in the top of the 6th inning. Roberts will step back in against McDaniels, and he'll watch a breaking ball miss high. The count's going even to 1-1. as McDaniels is starting to labor a little bit. Mavericks have scored 3, 5, and 4. And Roberts going to foul this one back. It's going to get out of play and hit the bleachers on the right side, and he'll be down 1 and 2. Miller will be on deck for the Mavericks if Roberts can reach here in the top of the 6th inning. As McDaniels awaits Roberts step back in, who's 3 for 3 on the night. He's got a runner on first base, and Nixon, the courtesy runner for Walker. And the pitch comes into Roberts' ball. Morgan does a nice job blocking it up. Nixon gets a late break. He's going to get in there safe. As Morgan did a good job blocking it up, got his body in front of it, kept it in front of him, but Nixon's able to go to second on the pass ball. He'll be on second base. The count even to 2 and 2 against Brody Roberts. With 2 outs, he's got a runner on second base and Nixon, and McDaniels leads the 2-2. Strike 3 as Roberts took a big cut at it, couldn't catch up. Mavericks going to take a 13-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning when we come back for Power 107. Mavericks are 3 outs away from their first state championship since 1999 as they lead. Years in baseball after coming up runner-ups last year in a surprise run to the championship game. They really caught fire toward the end of the season, didn't have a senior on the team, and took the momentum into this year where they're 34-6. 35 games was their magic number. It's been like that here since the playoffs started, and they're 3 outs away from reaching their dreams as state champions. Walker's going to stay on the mound where he's going to face the bottom of the lineup and Boyd, the number 9 hole hitter, before the top of the lineup comes back up. First pitch comes in, a breaking ball, just like all night long for a strike. He has absolutely thrown that backdoor breaking ball perfect tonight, as he's not tried to been overpowering. He's letting it break in. He's got an 0-1 count on Boyd. So Boyd will step back in on the right side, and Walker will deliver the 0-1. Strike 2 as he throws in a changeup at 77 miles an hour. And the count's now 0-2 with no outs. Walker on the night has 9 strikeouts. Just missing on the inside. Thought he got his 10th one. On a fastball, missed inside. He's just cruising at this point. Only up to 58 pitches. And he's got a 1-2 count. He'll hop back up on the rubber and deliver the pitch home to Boyd, the number 9 hole hitter. Strike 3 swinging. That's 10 strikeouts on the night for Walker. It's going to bring up the top of the lineup in Tweedle. Tweedle's 1 for 1, has the only hit against the Mavericks, and he's the only base runner that's reached twice for the Trojans, and he'll face Walker for the 3rd time. Not sure what's going on. The umpire came over to say something to Coach Weaver. And now we got a timeout. Coach Hester's coming out to say something to him. I'm not sure what this is all about. I'll see what my color man can get. So now I think they are saying we're going to play 7 innings. They're trying. Normally they have to agree to play 7 innings, and I think that's the question. whether or not they agreed to play 7 innings before the game or not. At this point, the Mavericks are in no dire straits of losing this game as Walker's cruising. They're up by 12 runs. It would be a monumental crash if they do have to play 7 innings and lose, but they're discussing right now, and I do think we're going to end up playing 7. So the umpires say there is no run rule tonight, being the game 3 of the championship. We are going to play 7 innings, so the Mavericks, instead of being 2 outs away, they're 5 outs away, as Brody Walker will step back on the mound. He's 10 strikeouts. He'll face Tweedle for the third time tonight. Tweedle's made it to the base both times before, and he'll watch a breaking ball come in and miss low. So 1-0. Pitch will be coming as Walker gets back on the mound, delivers a fastball. It's going to be skied high into the gray sky. It's out of the lights, but Johnson gets under it, makes the catch. A nice job. We're kind of in that time of the day where it's getting hard to see. The clouds are high. The ball went way over the lights. Johnson lost it for just a second. Then he saw it, was able to move back underneath it, and made a nice catch as the ball was fading away from him. It'll be the second out of the game, or the inning, and bring up Bedgood, who's 0 for 2. He's reached on the air and struck out against Walker. And now we got a timeout. Coach Hester is calling timeout to let his players know that they've got to play 7 innings, not to give up on it and go dogpiling. If they get an out here, they've got to come back in and play one more inning, as Walker will step back on the mound. First pitch will be a ball high to Bedgood. And he'll throw the 1-0 pitch to Bedgood now. Check swing. It's going to be a ball, and he's down 2-0. So a 2-0 pitch coming with 2 outs. Walker falling behind for one of the first times all night since early in the game. Pitch comes in 2-0, just about hits Bedgood, and he's down 3-0. The only other time he's been down 3-0 was the leadoff hitter at the very first of the game in Tweedle, where he eventually walked him on a 3-2 pitch. So 3-0 pitch coming. Strike right down the middle. Bedgood was taken all the way. Walker took a little bit off of it through a strike. He's got a 3-1 count now as he'll deliver the pitch. Foul ball on a high fastball. Bedgood probably swung at ball 4, but fouled it off into the netting. And there'll be a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Mavericks hadn't allowed a base runner since the 4th inning, as they've gone 1-2-3 the last 2 innings, or have a possibility of going 1-2-3, and the 3-2 pitch coming. Ball 4, and it's going to be a walk. So Bedgood will walk and bring up D. Morgan. Morgan will step in being 0 for 2 tonight, grounded into a double play and then reached on the error. And he'll face Walker for the 3rd time with a runner on first base. As he's getting instructions from his coach. So Morgan will step in. Walker will work out of the stretch. He looks to Bedgood on first base. Pitch comes into Morgan. Strike 1 right down the middle. He put a little more mustard on that ball and hit 86 miles an hour after cruising against the bottom half, taking a little bit off. Mavericks lead 13-1. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs. Mavericks are 4 runs away. As I was informed that they have to play 7 innings in the championship game, there cannot be a 10-run rule. And the 0-1 pitch to Morgan comes in, a breaking ball that just misses low. A nice pitch. Morgan does a nice job for the Trojans on not swinging. And Bedgood, the runner, comes back toward first. So 1-1 to Morgan. Bedgood takes his lead on first. The left-handed Walker will take a look over. As he's getting his signals, he'll take another look over. He's taking his time as Morgan stays in the box. He'll deliver the 1-1. Breaking ball, strike 2, and this time he gives him a good one. This breaking ball's been snapping today for Walker. He's got a chance to get out of the inning with a 1-2 count. He's got 10 strikeouts so far, and the pitch comes in at 1-2. This is just high for a ball. Count now is 2-2. So 2-2 count. Mavericks don't want to put anybody else on base. Would like to come back in and hit again. As Morgan has worked the count from 1-2 to 2-2. There's 2 outs. We'll see if Big tries to run. I doubt it, being down by 12. And the pitch comes in. Breaking ball, strike 3, swinging. Got Morgan out in front of it. Nice pitch by Walker. It's going to be his 11th punch out of the night. The Mavericks have one more inning, 3 outs away. But at first, they're going to come back to bat when we get into the top half of the 7th inning. We come back from Power 107. Welcome back to Manchester Academy Baseball. Mavericks are 1 inning away from their first state championship in 24 years as the Mavericks are going to face McDaniels again. Leadoff batter in the inning is going to be Jack Miller, a pinch hitter for JPD's. He'll bat from the right side, then he'll be followed up by, we'll have to see as Coach Hester's got a few changes. Looks like Burton's going to re-enter the game and be on deck, so it'll be Miller, Burton, and most likely Johnson, the senior, to lead off the inning. The Mavericks lead 13-1 here. They've out-hit Tallulah 14-1 in the game through 13 innings of pitching against Tallulah Academy in the state championship. Brody Walker's given up 1 hit and 1 run that was unearned. Absolutely going to be the MVP from a pitching standpoint in this series. As the Mavericks are up 13-1, there is no 10-run rule limit in the championship game of a playoff game, and Miller's going to step in batting .300 on the season. He's got 17 RBIs and 1 home run on the season. He'll step in to face McDaniels here in the top of the 7th inning. First pitch comes. It's going to be a strike right down the middle. As Miller took it, he'll step back in with a 0-1 count. So he'll face McDaniels again. As I said, Burton's on deck, and the 0-1 pitch is on its way. It's going to be a breaking ball that's going to hit Miller. He'll reach base. So the Mavericks will put a base runner on in all 7 innings today in the game. Miller will get to first base and have a pinch runner or courtesy runner in Edgar. Miller sees 2 pitches, gets hit by a pitch, reaches first base in the state championship game. So the Mavericks have just about played most of all their seasoned veterans on the season this year. There's a couple younger guys, some 8th graders that probably won't see any playing time, but they'll be ready for next season, still on the bench. It's going to bring up Burton. Burton had struck out twice against Morgan earlier on curveballs, so he'll have a chance to redeem himself with the courtesy runner Edgar for Miller on first base. Mavericks leading 13-1 in the top of the 7th inning, and McDaniels on the mound.
Let's go, man.
And we've got another conference with the umpires. Burton's going to re-enter the game to make sure everything's straight. Burton will step in from the right side, 0 for 2 on the night, have a runner on first base and no outs. Mavericks leading 13-1 here in the top of the 7th inning. In the best-of-3 championship game, the Mavericks won the first game here at Tallulah, 6-1, and now lead 13-1 in the 3rd game here at Tallulah. First pitch comes, it's going to be a pop-up to first base as Burton swung at the first pitch and pops out to first base. He'll go down with a fly out and end up 0-3 on the night, but his team leads 13-1. It brings up Johnson. the second baseman on the night. Johnson is 1 for 2. He's walked twice and doubled. He'll face McDaniels, and McDaniels is going to throw the first pitch low, and it's going to get by Morgan as he comes back to the wall and gets it. Edgar will go to second base, and Johnson will take a 1-0 lead. Mavericks have a runner in scoring position again, leading 13-1 here in game 3 in Tallulah. 1-0 pitch comes, strike right down the middle as Johnson took it all the way. Mavericks lost Thursday night 6-5 as Tallulah forced a game 3. McDaniels will come set and deliver. It's going to be a fastball. It misses high, and the count will go 2-0 to Johnson. So a 2-0 or 2-1 pitch coming. It's going to be a fastball skied high to left field. Left fielder's having to run way over. He's going to get to it. It holds up in the air. He makes a catch behind third base, about 10 feet inside the foul line. It'll be a fly out to the left fielder for Johnson. Probably be the last bat of his career as a senior, but he's got a good chance leading 12-1 of getting a state championship as he's a transfer from Yazoo County that came over to Manchester Academy for his senior year. It's done a good job for the Mavericks playing baseball. For the season, he's going to end up being a 360-plus batting average and has done well in the field to boot. The Mavericks do have 4 seniors on the team: Paul, Reed, Roberts, Brody Walker, and then Ryan Johnson. So the Mavericks lose 4 players, but next year will have a good many returning starters and a lot of players that were in the 9th and 10th grade that played meaningful innings for the Mavericks. They'll be moving up a division to 4A, but they'll still be one of the favorites to possibly win back-to-back state championships, assuming they hold on to a 12-run lead. First pitch comes, and it's going to be a stolen base by Edgar as he was gone on the pitch. It's going to be a ball high to Walton. Edgar straight out stole with a left-handed batter, showing a little bit of speed. He only had 2 steals for the whole season. I give him number 3 on the year. A nice piece of base running, puts the Mavericks another run 90 feet away as Walton watches ball 2 come in low. He'll have a 2-0 count with Reed Roberts sitting on deck. Mavericks have Edgar on third base, who came in to courtesy run for Miller after he was hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. 2-0 pitch comes, and swung on, is fouled way back to the right side of the field as Walton was way out ahead of that one, a chest-high fastball, and he jumped on it. Went way foul, though, not even close. Went over the first base dugout, but probably went 300 feet. Count's going to be 2-1 to Walton with the runner on third base and Edgar. So a 2-1 count, 2 outs in the top 7. Mavericks 13-1. Pitch comes. Strike 2 swinging. They're going to throw behind Edgar. Nice play by Morgan. They're going to get him in a rundown, and they're still chasing after him. They punch him out. So Edgar's going to be thrown out 2-5, 2-6 to end the inning as Morgan made a snap throw down to get him. The Mavericks failed to score in the top of the 7th inning. The first time they have not scored since way back in the 3rd inning. They've got a 13-1 lead as they're going to go back out in the field with Walker on the mound when we come back from Power 107. Welcome back to Manchester Academy Baseball. Mavericks are 3 outs away from a state championship as they're going to face the number 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Trojans. Mavericks lead 13-1 in the top of the bottom of the 7th inning as Walker will step back on the mound for the night. Walker's been impressive. He's got 11 strikeouts. As he'll face the number 4 hole hitter, Hopkins, who struck out both times previously tonight. His first pitch will be on its way. Breaking ball, strike one, swinging. As he has pitched masterfully with his breaking balls, taking a lot off his speed. He's only thrown 73 pitches through 6 innings. He's up 0-1 against Hopkins. Pitch comes, a fastball this time, strike 2. And he's up 0-2 now. As Manchester Academy, their dugout starting to smell. They're leaning over the railing. 0-2 count now to Hopkins. He calls timeout. Now he's ready. Pitch on his way. Hey now, call strike 3 right down the middle. Busted him inside. The ball tailed back over the middle for his 12th strikeout of the night. Third time he struck out Hopkins, and he's going to bring up McDaniels. And then he'll face Morrison. So he's got 12 on the night. Morrison will step in. Both times he's struck out once and he's grounded out to second base. First pitch to him will be a breaking ball that almost hits him. Count's going to be 1-0 with 1 out. Mavericks are 2 outs away from a state championship. As Walker steps back on the mound, the Mavericks defense playing very deep. They're just looking for outs at this point. The count's now 2-0. As the Mavericks are playing here on a Saturday night in Tallulah, game 3. They're feeling it. They see some smiles starting to go around in the infield. And 2-0 count from Walker's about to be delivered. Misses way high, ball 3. And now the count's 3-0. Mavericks don't want to put anybody on base. They're ready to get this game over with. You never want to take a chance of giving any hope to the Trojans, even though the Mavericks are up 12. 3-0 pitch by Walker's on his way. Strike right down the middle. He bared down on that one, put it over the plate. Count's now 3-1. As he's got 12 strikeouts on the night. Mavericks so far have out-hit the Trojans 14-1. As Walker takes his time, gets the signal, delivers the 3-1, ball 4. Trojans, for the first time in almost 3 innings, have a base runner. As McDaniels walks on the walk, that's the second walk issued by Walker. Only the 12th walk of the season for him. It's going to bring up Morrison. Morrison's 1 for 2. Center fielder. He'll step in on the right side to face Walker. Walker needs to bear down to finish this game off. First pitch comes in swinging, strike 1. Mavericks 2 outs away from their state championship, something they've been working hard on since December. 0-1 pitch is going to be a strike, swinging again over the outside part of the plate. And now Morrison's down 0-2. He'll have to choke up, protect the plate against Walker as he's looking for his 13th punch out of the night. The runner on first is McDaniels, got his lead, and Walker will check in before delivering home. Hey, called strike 3 right over the inside part of the corner. Another K for Walker. Now the Mavericks are 1 out away as Walker just got his 13th strikeout of the night. Mavericks dugout are hanging out the side waiting on the next out. As I'm sure we're going to see a dog pile after the Mavericks get an out. They're leading 13-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Took control of the game back in the 5th and the 4th and never looked back really. Pitch coming in, it's going to be high to Moberly, the left-handed third baseman, who's had a nice series against the Mavericks. Very good on defense, had a couple of hits the other night. He's 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout and a ground out to his counterpart at third base, and Paul. And he's up 1-0 with a 2-out count. So Walker delivers the 1-0. A breaking ball is going to be a chopper back to him. He's going to go to first base all the way by himself, touch on it, and that's it. The Mavericks are going to win the 3A state championship. They'll dog pile on second base. They'll be partying in Yazoo City like it's 1999 tonight. If it wasn't a country music station, Power 107, they could play the song by Prince, but coaches are giving a big hug to Trojans had a really good season. They're going to finish the year 26-8 as the Mavericks win the state championship, the first one in 23 years, on a dominant pitching performance behind Walker. He had 13 strikeouts tonight on the season. He's going to pitch 65 2/3 innings with 149 strikeouts versus only 12 walks. He only gave up 4 earned runs in 60 innings this year, which is outstanding. The Mavericks are going to win the game 13-1. They out-hit the Trojans. The stat line is going to look like this: 13 runs on 14 hits and 1 error for the Mavericks. The Trojans had 1 hit, one run on 1 hit, and 5 errors tonight. As they kind of imploded in the 5th inning, the Mavericks really got on target and started pounding the ball, played good defense all night. Some stats for the Mavericks over the year though, their offense has really been what's catalyst them to this championship. They've scored 460 runs this season. That's an 11.2 average, while their pitching's only given up 3.5. So the Mavericks had a 18 or 19 game winning streak during the middle of the season, took a hard loss to St. Andrews, and then came back in the playoffs and went 8-1 to win the 3A state championship. They're going to win it 13-1 behind the pitching. They're congratulating the Trojans right now, who had a good run themselves. They'll come out number 2, the runner-ups where the Mavericks were last year. The Trojans will stay in 3A for next year. The Mavericks are going to move up to 4A, where they'll be one of the favorites again to win the state championship. They return a lot of players, a lot of pitchers. They are going to lose 4 good seniors in Brody Walker, Reed Roberts, Ryan Johnson, and Mills Paul. Paul's going to end up leading the team in batting average this season, batting over 450 for the season. Also in stolen bases, where he stole 38 bases. Walker was going to lead in RBIs. He had 69 RBIs and was the ace on the mound, even though Brody Roberts, the sophomore, was very good this year. The Mavericks will lean hard on him next year. Reed Roberts came in toward the middle of the season after making a state championship run in soccer. Didn't play early, but got into the lineup where he batted .350 on the season. And the last senior came over from Yazoo County back in the fall. It's Brian Johnson. Rhino played second base for the Mavericks most of the year. He's going to bat over .360 for the season. So the 4 seniors are going to go out with a state championship. They're all hugging and giving high fives right now after their dog pile. And they're making the trophy presentations right now, as they just presented the Trojans a second place trophy. They're not happy right now about it, but it was a good season for the Trojans. They were 26-8 on the season, led behind Morgan. Morgan's going to pitch at Colin next year. The Mavericks are about to be awarded their trophy, as they're waiting on the first place trophy. The Mavericks had to play a game 3 as the Trojans forced it on Thursday night. But the Mavericks prevailed tonight here at Tallulah Academy in game 3, 13-1. So they're now announcing the 3A state champions, Manchester Academy Mavericks. They're congratulating them. They're going to hold the trophy up, and the Tallulah Academy fans that are left are going to give them some claps also. But the Mavericks win the state championship after being runners-up last year. This was my first year to announce baseball as I took over for Walter Patterson. I get to do the first season on a state championship run, which is special for me, as I had a son on the team also that was getting playing time throughout the season. But the Mavericks will have a chance to go back-to-back next year after coming out second. We want to thank all of our sponsors this year that brought you Manchester Academy Baseball live to you on Power 107. I'm Josh Miller for the Maverick Nation Network until next year, when I'll be visiting you again in your homes in the fall. But until then, we'll go back to Power 107. All right, Mr. Johnson, I'll bring you your stuff Monday on all the stuff I got. All right.